The first task in printing is to prepare the screen. This involves covering the corners and edges of the screen and blocking out any pinholes. The steps in preparation are: block out the screen corners, tape or block out the screen edges, and block out any pinholes. The supplies you'll need are the exposed screens, corner dams if you plan to use them, blockout tape, and liquid blockout. Check your screens. They should be stretched tightly and evenly on the frame. Notice that there is an open area of mesh between the stencil and the side of the frame. There's also an open area in each corner of the frame. Ink can pass through these parts of the screen, so they need to be blocked out or taped. To fix the corners, use plastic dams or a piece of tape. The corner dams snap into place. But if you don't have them, you can put a piece of tape on each corner. Either way, make sure all the corners are covered. Next, put a strip of tape along each edge to connect the dams. Be careful not to tape over part of the image. The dams and tape should cover all of the open areas of the screen between the stencil and the frame. If there's an open area, cover it with a little more tape. Split tape is easier to use than traditional tape, but it costs a little more. Cut it to the length of the inside of the frame, peel off half the paper backing, and apply it to the screen. The clear half sticks to the screen and the paper half keeps the ink off the frame, which will save time when cleaning up. Again, make sure that the tape covers all of the open area between the stencil and the frame. After you've taped off a few screens, you'll appreciate the time it saves to use an emulsion scoop coater that's about an inch shorter than the width of the screens. Check your screens for pinholes. These are small holes in the emulsion. The most common cause is dust on the glass top of the exposure unit. Pinholes could leave spots of ink on your t-shirts when you print them. Blockout pens are the quickest and easiest way to fill pinholes. Some screen printers just paint a little block out on the pinholes with a brush, or put a piece of tape on the contact side of the screen. Let it dry thoroughly before using the screen. While the registration marks aren't part of the image, don't block them out just yet. You'll cover them with tape when you do the actual printing. Now that the frames are ready for printing, let's talk about squeegees. They come in a variety of sizes, shapes, and hardness. Squeegee ends come in 4 basic shapes: square, pointed, beveled, and round. The stiffness of the blade is called the durometer. This flexible blade has a durometer of 40 and could be used on an uneven surface such as a pocket or a seam. A stiffer blade with a square edge and a durometer of 70 works well for general printing on t-shirts. The square blade shears off the ink and presses it through the screen onto the t-shirt. Manufacturers use different color codes for durometer, so be sure to check yours. Never leave a squeegee so that the blade is bent. After a while, they'll take that shape permanently. This blade is ready to be discarded because it is bent and will not lay down an even layer of ink on a t-shirt. Select a handle that fits your hands. The larger handle gives more leverage for pressing down, but would be hard for a person with small hands to use. If printing a small design, use a small squeegee. It needs less downward force and is easier to control. Using the best squeegee for the job can make the difference between a perfect print and a reject. Squeegees are an important tool to the screen printer. Remember to take care of them.